G'day, I'm Paul. That is my Cannon. This week we're going to rebuild the back end of the Cannon. So the bar's coming off, the hard lid is coming off, the tent is coming off, the reverse light bar is coming off, the antenna is coming off. I've got an Xplora canopy that we're going to be assembling. Right, here it is, all unboxed. The top, the roof, upside down. There's a couple of metal strips which go in this spot here. Once you install the rails, there's the rails. So they'll go that way with the bolts breaking up through the roof while I assemble it upside down. There's the back. This panel will go against the cab. Didn't know it had a light, so it's exciting. Some wiring to do. We've got a whole heap of this kind of rubber sealer that you put around everything, seal and stop things rattling. We've got some of this, which is like blue tack, which I think, pretty sure that's a weather sealant that I'm going to put around the doors in the front and the back. Some rubber, lots of nuts and bolts, whole heap of keys. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 keys in there maybe. Some brackets, 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 brackets. There's the rails. This is the back door with the mount here for where the tail light will go. Tail light is here. Tail light in there. Don't know what this is. No idea. Fortunately, I've got an office manager that speaks Mandarin. Maybe she can read it for me. Back door, side door, side door. And let's get to assembly. So I'm just going along with this foam tape, just sticky on one side, putting it between the bolts, should stop any metal rattling. So this is where the instructions aren't super clear. So I haven't bolted the rail on. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the side on. I'm going to run a strip of silicone sealant along there, put the side on, and then put this over the bolt holes and then bolt it down. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. There is some instructions, but they're not super good, not super clear about what to do. It was sent with a small tube of silicone. It's probably polyurethane silicone, but who knows. Anyway, I'm probably not going to use it. Lots of people use Sikaflex. I use 940 FC. It's the same thing. I've used it all over my truck. It's about 20 bucks a cheap as. Sides are on. I run a bead of 940 FC inside the roof, then I put the side on, put the strip of metal on, and run a bead of 940 FC inside that too. This is the back door. It's the next step, so put some tape on. I think this is just to keep it from rattling. And this looks like the sealant that they've supplied. It's like black blue tack. So I've run a bead around there. Punch some holes through where the screw holes are. There we go. We're about to lift it on. Let me show you what I'm seeing. So these bolts are meant to go through here, but with the sealant on, can't push it down far enough. I think it might be just a persevere job. Took me a couple of attempts to get the back door on. I consulted the instructions, discovered I don't actually need this goopy stuff along here, that it just seals on the pads. But anyway, it's in now. There's a couple of little gaps through here that I'll make sure close up. Can't get a rattle gun in here, so it's the old fashioned way with spanners. Ugh. For the back wall, instead of using the blue tacky stuff, I've just a bead of 940 FC all the way around. Should keep it waterproof. Silicon. Here we go. Finger tight bolt, finger tight bolt, finger tight bolt, finger tight bolt. Now I go through with the spanners, tighten it all up. Fully assembled. Probably took me about 4 hours, I suppose. Made one mistake, but just by over sealing this joint here, that's okay. I'll just run some silicone down these joints here and I'll let it dry overnight and then tidy it up tomorrow. I'll do the same here. Looks good. Works alright. Awesome. Morning, it's day 2. Glue's cured. I'm going to try and clean it up a little bit. Today's task is strip everything off the back. Right, time to test my science ability. So I've rigged up a double pulley system in the workshop. I've loosened off everything from the tent. So they're loose. They're loose. Put some blocks under here, just so if the tent falls it's not going to crush my fingers while I'm taking the clamps off. So here goes nothing. In theory I should be able to lift it straight up, I think. Whoa. I think safety calls for more people. It's a lot heavier than expected. In theory, tent weighs 80 kilos, so I should be lifting 40 on my own, I think. Maybe I'll wait. Well, it is actually working. It's quite heavy. But there we go. Need to figure out, just need another person to hold the rope while I can drive the truck out. Right, with the help of some extra muscle, I'm clear. The light's been pulled off. The antenna has been mostly pulled off. Might see if someone wants to buy my hard lid, so I'll take lots of photos while I'm taking it off. Here's a end of day 2 roundup. So the back of the truck is completely stripped, hard lid off, reverse lights off. I haven't actually dismantled the antenna, I've just unbolted it. This might actually require some repairs this week, but anyway. I need to figure out where I'm going to mount that antenna and how I'm going to mount it. Sports bar off, edges are all clean for me to start in the morning. Come in tomorrow morning. The plan for tomorrow is I'm going to make up some roof racks, just simple roof racks to go between the 2 side bars to mount the tent on, and maybe something at the back to mount my reverse light on. I do quite like having my reverse light, so I'm going to try and keep it. And then lift the canopy on in place, put it in place. My winch isn't as great as what I'd hoped it to be. It lifts things, but I mean, I guess I'm lifting really heavy things, so come the time that I'm lifting the tent on, that could be a exciting time. The hard lid, I've kept everything all tickety-boo. I'll probably offer it up for sale. If you're in New Zealand and interested in a homemade hard lid, hit me up. I'll leave the central locking unit on it, so you can wire it up to your central locking. Yeah, that's the end of day 2. See you tomorrow for day 3. Morning, it's the start of day 3. The plan for today is to fix on some roof racks. So that's what the tent is going to mount on. Somehow, like that. So just simple bolts through into the rails. I cleaned up the edge last night. So I'm going to run some rubber around here. And I took all of the bolts out of the edge along here. So these bolt holes are reused for the mounts for the canopy. If you've got ute liner, you have to break through it to get the bolts to come out. Which is a bit of hard work, but you know, nothing a bit of brute force won't fix. And this morning, a friend of mine gave me a block and tackle, so I might replace my dodgy rope pulley system and hang a block and tackle on the roof. That endless chain worked a treat. It was awesome. Not sure whether I did something wrong or not, but these mounts here, let's see if I can show you in the dark, they didn't quite line up. So as a result, I've had to, can you see I've taken a grinder and just cut a little slot along there. See if I can show you what that does. So that just slots in there like that. So, not sure whether I mounted it wrong, but everything seems to be lined up except for the rear mount. So, simple fix. It's about 4 in the afternoon. I mean, I've gone really slowly, so taking my time. Let's see if I can open these side doors and I'll show you these clamps. Like, whew. Get some light in. Look at this. It's got these mean clamps here, 3 down each side, plus bolted in each corner. So she's on good and proper. So tomorrow I might try and lift the tent on. I've got some fiddly things to do. So this is my central locking that goes down to the tailgate, which I have to tidy up. This is the power to my reverse light, which I have to tidy up. I have to figure some way of mounting this somewhere. I'm thinking of making a mount and putting it on the side of the canopy there maybe, or there maybe. I think I'll probably do that. So we're heading into the fiddly tasks. Oh, I've also got to move my awning because I can't open the door there. Hopefully that's not going to be too difficult. I should just be able to loosen some bolts up there and slide the whole thing forward 100mm. It'll sit on top of my snorkel. Nah, it should clear my snorkel just. So that's my task for tomorrow. Morning. It's day 4 of this project, I think. The roof racks are bolted on yesterday before the canopy went on. So the plan for today is to lift the tent back on, get that in place, and then I'll start fiddling around with the little things, the lights, the antenna for the radio, moving the awning. Let's get into it. It's not 100% complete, but just got to do reverse lights, UHF antenna. I think that's it. Oh, and the 2 lights in the canopy, the brake light at the back, and it's got this real cute LED light. So I'll wire that up. There's a brake light here that I haven't wired up yet. Cool. Awesome. It's Monday. Canopy I finished last week. The tent I finished last week. The reverse light bar is now wired up and working. Not adjusted or pointed in the right direction, but it doesn't matter. And what I've done is I've gone to Super Cheap Auto and I bought one of these $20 bull bar mounts for my antenna. I actually bought a blowtorch to heat this up, to bend it so that this is flat, and I also cut a slit in here so because the antenna is all one piece, it's all attached to the cable, so I can see myself replacing an antenna in the future, and getting the cable out the side here would make life a whole lot easier. Bought myself a blowtorch for $70. There it is here. We'll carry on. Whew. We have a finished product. So canopy mounted, tent mounted, drawers mounted, brake light up the top is wired in into the tail light here. Antenna mounted and reverse light mounted. So pretty happy. So Blake at Xplora.co.nz, where I bought the canopy from, this guy, Xplora, he reckons he can assemble one of these in a few hours, and he probably can. I think if you were doing this yourself and you were just putting it on the back of a tub, give yourself a day to assemble and get yourself some help to lift it on the back of the tub. It's not too difficult, it's all pretty straightforward. I've taken over a week, but then I've rebuilt my entire back into my truck in a week. So pretty happy with it. Haven't unfolded the tent yet. Might do that tomorrow. See how high it is. I'm Paul. That's my Cannon, and that is my new Xplora canopy.